Sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to invite everyone to the March 17th, 2026 Poquoson City Public Schools School Board meeting. We'll open the meeting. First up is Ms. Studd. Can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please pause for a moment of silence. You may be seated. Today, our quote comes from Lady Bird Johnson, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope."
Thank you. Ms. Ide, are there any additions or modifications to the agenda for tonight?
There are no additions or modifications tonight.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Purdy because she's going to run the show here tonight. So everybody just do what she says.
Thank you for that. Just to let everybody know, we're going to be doing our recognitions in 3 different waves today because we just have so much to celebrate. So having said that, Chair Burbidge, members of the board, Mr. Tillett, colleagues, community members, and students, thank you for coming to celebrate with us this evening. The first of which we would like to recognize is our Senior of the Month. Academically, our March Senior of the Month consistently challenges herself by taking numerous honors, advanced placements, and dual enrollment courses, and her commitment to her studies has earned her an impressive 4.38 grade point average, as well as membership in the French Honor Society, Social Studies Honor Society, National Honor Society, Math Honor Society, Quill and Scroll. I'm not sure there's much more left. Beyond the classroom, Morgan demonstrates strong leadership and involvement in a wide range of extracurricular activities. She's been an active member of the Chick-fil-A Leadership Group, Future Medical Leaders of America, Key Club, Journalism Club, Model UN Club, Excel, and Leo Club. She's also served in multiple leadership roles, including historian and then executive historian of SCA, secretary of the Key Club, historian of Model UN, and co-founder and co-president of the Future Medical Leaders of America Club. In athletics, she's on the performing and competition team for Dreammakers Dance Studio. But in addition to her academic and extracurricular activities, she has gained valuable professional and community experience. She's currently the store clerk for Legacy Marina, where she works to ensure customer satisfaction, and she's also dedicated significant time to community service through her work as a junior volunteer at Riverside Hospital, providing aid on an assigned unit at the hospital, ensuring patients are comfortable and have everything they need, assisting nurses on daily tasks, answering phone calls, and restocking supplies. Collectively, she's contributed several hours to service by being a counselor in training at the YMCA camp and First Presbyterian Vacation Bible School. We are proud to announce Morgan Clayton as the Senior of the Month. She's a motivated, ambitious, and well-rounded student who has set high goals for herself and consistently achieves them. Please join me in congratulating Morgan. And I'll have you come on up to get your certificate and ignore her life vest. It's senior assassin time, so she's in her protective gear. I get protective custody over Morgan if you would like to keep her as well. I promise. It's really scary. I promise. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. It's important to us that you feel safe. Poquoson Middle School is proud to recognize several talented students who were selected for the All Virginia Honor Choir, an outstanding accomplishment that reflects their dedication, musical ability, and the strength of our middle school choral program. These students demonstrated exceptional musicality and commitment to their craft and represented our division with excellence in music. Please join us in congratulating the following students who earned recognition through a competitive audition process. Peyton Schaefer, Soprano 2 Delegate. My apologies, these are not in order. That's my fault. You're going to be the last? There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. And if you wouldn't mind standing up here, Peyton. Ellie DeGoma, Alto 2, First Alternate. And then we also have Amelia Ramirez, who could not be here tonight. She's previously scheduled to rehearse at the Peninsula Youth Orchestra, where she participates in vocal jazz and plays the French horn. But I still wanted to recognize her impressive achievement because she also went on to regionals, which is not just regionals within the state, but regionals on the national level, where she performed with a total of those from 5 various states. So it's a wonderful achievement for her. If I could also have Mrs. Rebecca Wade come up for a picture. Thank you. Poquoson High School is also proud to celebrate several students who've been selected to participate in the All Virginia Choir, one of the highest honors a choral student in the Commonwealth can achieve. Selection is based on a rigorous audition process that includes students from all across Virginia, and being selected as a delegate means that these students will represent Poquoson and perform as members of the official All Virginia Choir in April. Please join us in congratulating these outstanding PHS students. Colin Doran. Victor Klaus. Kason Claiborne. Heather Jensen. Lillian Himes. And Peyton Rollins. Could I have Ms. Rose Reed come up, please? Still celebrating music. Poquoson High School also had an all-state band member. We are very proud to recognize Mr. Jonathan Rutter, a junior who recently earned selection to the Virginia All-State Band, which is, again, one of the highest honors for high school musicians. Jonathan earned 6th chair in the All-State Concert Band on trombone, placing him 15th out of 68 trombone students who auditioned statewide. This outstanding achievement reflects both his dedication to his instrument and his exceptional musical ability. Jonathan was also one of only 5 trombone students representing the Hampton Roads region in the all-state competition, further highlighting the level of talent and competition in this process. Please join us in congratulating Jonathan Rutter on this remarkable accomplishment and for representing PHS with excellence in the performing arts. And Mr. Smith, can you please come up? Of course, these recognitions highlight our individual students, but it doesn't go without wonderful leadership of our teachers and directors, I should say, who have come to support and continue to support our students. So we thank them as well. At this time, that ends our first wave of recognition, so we're going to give a brief pause to allow for you to leave, and then we will welcome the wrestling team in next. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Wade. I feel because that's my daughter.
She was careful though. I know.
Thank you very much for your patience as we transitioned you guys in. We will go ahead and move on to our second wave of recognitions as we do have so much to celebrate this evening. So tonight we're going to recognize some of our student athletes for their accomplishments at state tournament. Poquoson's wrestling team has had another successful season. The team placed first in the Toys for Tots Invitational, the Region 2A tournament, and the AA state championships. And for the first time in program history, all 14 wrestlers qualified for the state tournament this year, and the team tied a school record with 11 wrestlers placing in the top 6 and set another school record with 6 state championships. The wrestling team has finished first in 6 out of the last 9 state championships. Let us now recognize those wrestlers who finished in the top 2 in the state. As I call your names, please come forward, and if you wouldn't mind just kind of stepping over to the side, we'll get a picture of all of our state champions together, okay? Cam Harrell. Cam is a senior who placed first in state at the 113 weight class. Cam finished the season with a 21-5 record and placed first at the Colony Baker Toys for Tots Bay Rivers District and Region Tournament. Cam will attend Lincoln Memorial where he will continue his wrestling career. Logan Kesey. Logan is a senior who placed first in state at the 120 weight class. Logan's record this year was 30-9, and he also placed first at the Toys for Tot and Region 2A tournament. Logan will continue his wrestling career at Randolph College. There you are. There's Logan. Oh, I think I went too fast. Thank you. Okay. Jared Goodson. Jared is a senior and has claimed his 4th state title. Jared wrestled this year in the 132 weight class and took first at the Colony Baker, Toys for Tots, Ocean Lakes Invitational, Bay Rivers District, and Region Tournament. Jared will continue his wrestling career at the VMI next year. Reed Booth is also a senior who has won his third state championship. This year in the 157 weight class, he has had a season record of 36-3 and took first place in the Colony Baker, Toys for Tots, Bay Rivers District, and Region Tournament. Reed plans to continue his wrestling career at either Princeton University, Michigan State, or Virginia Tech next season. Austin Conley is also a senior who placed first in the state at the 175 weight class. Austin's record this year was 25-11. He placed second at the Colony Baker Invitational and first at the Ocean Lakes Invitational. And he went 4-1 at the Virginia Duels and took first at the Region 2A tournament. Austin plans to attend Hampton-Sydney College to play football next year. You can go behind. I know it's awkward. You can, yep, there you go. Okay. Braden Agnes is also a senior who placed first in states at the 215 weight class. Braden also took first place at the Colony Baker Region 2A tournament and had a posted record of 28-10 in the season. Next year, Braden will attend Belmont Abbey College where he plans on playing rugby. At this time, we're going to attempt to get a quick picture of you guys. Right here. I think that if you guys can just come in a little bit closer. Congratulations, guys.
Well done, guys.
I am going to have them have a seat, but they will be coming up again shortly. Because we're not done. Because as we stated earlier, these were just the individual state champions. But we would now like to recognize the entire team for taking first in states overall. So in a moment, if you could please come forward as I call your names. No, it's okay. I actually had these pictures out of order, so I'm going to go back to the team one. Kason Atkins. Braden Agnes. Reed Booth. Preston Bundy. Braden Bunting. Austin Conley. Tyler Gardner. Ryder Gillespie. Jared Goodson. Cam Harrell. Nathan Heidemann. Cade Johnson. Luke Johnson. Logan Kesey. Derek Kennedy. Brian Latta. Jackson Mazzella. Nathaniel Quiroz. Jaden Berner. Nathan Villasenor. And Kale Zerby. Sorry. We also want to recognize our coaches, Eric Decker, and his assistant coaches, Kendall Rydnor, Mike McCormick, Ross Graham, Richard Harrell, Patrick McCormick, and Donald Booth. And if you could please come forward, we would like to recognize you as well. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to do a couple layers of people up here.
Mike?
Okay, I think I can see everybody. Yep.
Ready? I'm sorry.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Oh, I'm so sorry. So many of us.
Richard, smile.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Go back at it.
Congratulations on such a wonderful and amazing season. At this time, we're going to go ahead and do our second wave of recognitions. If you wouldn't mind stepping back out into the hallway, unless you wanted to stay for the whole thing. Ground, if you wanted to take off your protective gear, you can't be gotten. I can't say if you walk out of here. Those of you just walking in, you're safe here if you wanted to remove your safety protective gear. Yes.
Safe zone.
It is a safe ground.
Active custody.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
In my protective custody.
By the authority of Kelly Purdy.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience as we have some transitions going on, but we are on a third and final wave of celebrations tonight. And so the first off that we would like to celebrate is our swim team. This season was highlighted by outstanding performances, leading the way by Lillian Kowicki, captured a state championship in the 100-yard breaststroke with a dominant performance. As a 10th grader, we can't wait to see how she continues to progress in this sport. Please join me in congratulating Lillian on her first state title. If you wouldn't mind waiting here, we're going to get a picture of all of our state champions. Tony DeVry had a remarkable meet, earning state titles in both the 50 and 100-yard freestyle, while also setting a new state record in the 100-yard freestyle. This is not Tony's first state title by far, and in fact, he plans to continue to swim in college at Penn State Allentown. We wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. Will you please come forward, Tony? I misspoke. It was Johnstown, not Allentown. And both those, sorry. Oh, and let's go ahead and give you that one too. Yeah, okay. The PHS 400-meter free relay team consisted of, nope, sorry, wait 1 second. I thought you were sitting down. We're not done yet. Oh, gotcha, sorry, I apologize. I don't want you to go sit down. Consisting of Kanan Pye, Tony DeVry, Akita Leslie, and Erickson Darnell showcase incredible teamwork and determination to claim a state championship title. This team effort is incredible to watch, so congratulations to you all. Please come forward as I call your name. Tony DeVry, Lillian, wait, did I give you the wrong one, Lillian? I did, I apologize. Erickson Darnell. Akita Leslie. And Kanan Pye. Is there a coach here today? No? Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and grab a picture of you guys.
Congratulations.
Capping off an exceptional season, the boys team delivered a strong overall performance to earn this title of state runners-up. This group's dedication, resilience, and commitment to the excellence has made this season one to remember. We will call each individual swimmer to the front and ask that you stay for a group photo. Oh, thank you. Jackson Boyd. Is Jackson here? Okay. Trevor Chapman. Brant Clemmy. Erickson Darnell. Tony DeVry. Liam Heldreth. Cannon Johnson. Akita Leslie. Kanan Pye. Tyler Sebring. And then we had Coach Luke Altman and Daniel Berry. I'm going to have you guys maybe scoot down a little bit and step out. We'll take a quick picture. Yeah, actually, if you wouldn't mind doing what Dr. Burbage suggested right here.
Y'all can come up. Y'all can stand up. Y'all can stand up.
Now on to indoor track. The celebrations continue as we now turn to indoor track, which has repeated wins from last year. Our relay team not only did as well as they did last year, but then some as they trumped their runner-up status and brought home the state championship. Congratulations to the 4x800 team. Please join me up front as I call your name. I don't want to say there's too much to recognize, but it's gotten me thrown. Tegan Horning. Chloe Banks. Elizabeth Trant. Ashley Groseth. And can we also have coaches Jennifer Carpenter Fitzpatrick and Coach Kimberly Chapman join us? And then Ms. Chapman also has something additional that she would like to say and give to her team.
So at the state meet for indoor track, they do not do a podium awards like they do at some of the others. So I have some hardware to hand out. So for our 4x4 or 4x8 team, I have your first place state championship medals. And then for Miss Elizabeth Trant, I have your first place medal for the 1600 and your first place medal for the 3200. Congratulations.
And before we have a picture and they go to sit down, I did want to share a little bit about Elizabeth Trent, that she once again has earned more state titles in both the categories of the 1600 and the 3200. This is her third time ranking, at least that I know of, correct me if I'm wrong, Elizabeth, third time ranking first in both those categories. That's correct. And is this your 14th state title? Yes, 14th state title. So we wish her the best of luck as she continues her athletic career at Princeton, and hope that we see her in the council chambers one more time at the end of the spring season for something we don't care what it is. So congratulations to both Elizabeth Trant as well as the relay team on a wonderful season. And last but certainly not least, we would like to recognize the PHS Academic Challenge Team, who recently won the state championship in the VHSL Scholastic Bowl. This was a hard-fought win for the team with many years in the making. Led by Mr. Kip Flynn, this team has worked incredibly hard to earn this title, and we are extremely proud of their accomplishment. Please join us in congratulating Carlton Gill. AJ Lumagi. Nathan Heineman. Jackson Raymond. Kat Blake. And of course, Coach Mr. Kip Flynn.
Good job, guys.
This was the first state win in over 25 years under the direction of Mr. Flynn, who is just a remarkable teacher and coach for this team. Thank you, and congratulations once again to that team. If you were a coach who had some missing athletes, I do have some certificates I'd like to hand you before you leave, but that does conclude our recognitions for the evening. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention, please. Odyssey of the Mind is still going on with their season, but they have just recently won 3 state championships as well, and they're now moving on to nationals, and we recognize first place and Worlds, thank you. Worlds, which is obviously way more impressive than just nationals. But all 3 teams have made it once again. We're very excited to celebrate them next month and whatever falls from that. But at least we know that they are state champions. So I wanted to just recognize that and to mention that we will be recognizing them at our next school board meeting. Okay? Thank you.
If y'all want to file out, if you're welcome to stay if you want, but
Yeah, I know. There's the president.
you make sure that, leave at least one door open? Okay, we're good. All right. I think, are we ready? Okay. Okay, moving on, Ms. Ide, could you bring us through the instructional update, please?
I sure will. Good evening, Chair Burbidge, school board members, Superintendent Tillett, staff, community members. Tonight, I have a brief presentation on our work with VTSS. In Poquoson, our goal is to ensure that every student, regardless of their experiences or needs, has access to the support necessary to succeed. We know that for some students, particularly those who experience transitions or changes in schools, maintaining continuity in learning and support can be a challenge. That's why we have prioritized building consistent division-wide systems of support. This work is grounded in our implementation of MTSS, multi-tiered systems of supports. MTSS is a proactive, data-driven framework that helps us match instruction and support student needs. It ensures that students receive the right level of support at the right time, academically, behaviorally, and socially. Our efforts are strengthened through our partnership with VTSS, the Virginia Tiered System of Supports, which provides guidance, technical assistance, and professional learning to support strong implementation across all of our schools. Our division VTSS team consists of myself, our Director of Student Services, Heather Worthen, our Special Education Coordinator, Ruth Marie Kaysen, our school psychologist, Lynn Hurd and Susan Harduin, and our school social worker, Ellen Christ. And Lynn Hurd currently serves as a District Coordinator for VTSS. We meet on a monthly basis with our VTSS coaches to review data, discuss the work happening at our schools, plan professional development, and ensure alignment with our strategic plan. Last year at this time, I mentioned we were working on our Aligned Student Assistance Plan. And this year, our focus has shifted to monitoring and implementation and refining our processes based on student data and school feedback. School-based teams working alongside their VTSS coaches are using the Student Assistance Plan process to review student progress, make referrals for additional support when needed, and monitor the effectiveness of interventions. Teams are now tracking intervention data with greater precision, including the specific needs being addressed, who is providing the intervention, the frequency and duration, and how students are responding to that intervention. This allows our team to make more informed decisions and adjust supports more quickly based on student progress. This year, we were awarded $30,000 from the VTSS grant, with a focus on the two goals that you see above. Funding has supported staff training in effective classroom systems and diffusing disruptive behavior, the implementation of attendance protocols, enhancements of smart paths to better track interventions, the continued use of Educator's Handbook to monitor discipline data, and stipends for division coordinators and school-based coaches to support this work. As part of this effort, we have continued to build staff capacity. To date, 58 staff members have completed effective classroom systems, and 81 have completed diffusing disruptive behavior training. Staff participated in initial training in August with a follow-up session in February that reinforced key practices through applied scenarios. We also conducted targeted classroom observations where staff identified specific practices they wanted feedback on. Observations by our VTSS coaches and ITRTs allowed for personalized, actionable feedback, supporting stronger implementation in classrooms. As a new initiative, we introduced Check-In, Check-Out, or CHICO, with training provided during February Spark to 40 staff members across all 4 schools. Check-In, Check-Out is a targeted intervention that provides students with daily structure, feedback, adult connection to support behavior and engagement. Each school is currently working to identify students who would benefit from this support as we are in the 3rd and final quarter of the year. With attendance as a priority with both the grant and our broader division goals, we established the attendance subcommittee this year. This team includes the school social worker, who also serves as our truancy officer, assistant principals, administrative interns who monitor attendance and lead attendance improvement plans, and additional staff from student services. This committee is focused on strengthening consistent systems to monitor chronic absenteeism and better support students and families. This year, we did revise our attendance improvement plan to be more proactive and intervention focused, and they meet regularly to review trends and guide next steps. Additionally, the subcommittee has strengthened collaboration with the Check and Connect program, not to be confused with Check In, Check Out, through the Colonial Juvenile Services Commission. This is a no-cost service for the division and our families, as Poquoson already participates in and supports the commission. Check and Connect can be offered when students begin to show attendance concerns, typically around 5 unexcused absences or 10 total absences, or just based on team decision-making. With parent consent, a representative works directly with the family, providing weekly check-ins through home visits, phone calls, or virtual meetings to support improved attendance and engagement. Together, these efforts are strengthening our ability to respond to student needs in a timely, consistent, and data-driven, informed way, ensuring every student is supported, engaged, and able to move forward in their learning. And then we always like to highlight examples of what this looks like in our schools. So of course, at the primary school, we have our Golden Bull tickets, our bucket filler recognition, quarterly celebrations at the end of each marking period. This year, they've had a glow party in the first quarter and a shark attack game event in the second quarter, and planning is underway for an outdoor celebration in May for the third quarter. And of course, those needing more intervention, specifically in reading, those students who might be high risk or moderate risk on the VALS assessment, they receive additional daily instruction by reading specialists, special education teachers, paraeducators, and other trained staff. They use the Foundations and Lexia programs to support the basic reading skills. At the elementary school, they have positive office referrals for those who demonstrate the 3 R's, respect, responsibility, and resourcefulness. They come down to the office to have their successes celebrated, their photo taken, which is shared in the weekly newsletter to highlight their achievements school-wide. They have classroom bull bucks where they can earn the bucks for demonstrating that positive behavior. Then they vote on the incentives, and they are also celebrated through the Bull Bucks Bulletin. They have kindness, connections, and bullying prevention lessons provided by the school counselor. And of course, after-school tutoring targeting academic support in reading and math after school that's been going on over a 20-week period. And students are identified using their SOL and growth data to participate in this after-school tutoring. The middle school, of course, has the all-in famous Bulltique. They earn tickets for respect, responsibility, and resilience, and that store is facilitated by our school counselors and our wonderful parent volunteers. The Golden Bull Student of the Month is nominated by teachers and staff for their 3 R's. That student receives, or all of those students are then voted on, and the student receives a trophy, a yard sign to celebrate their dedication as the Bull of the Month. And at the high school. So this is a little bit different this year. You've heard about One Lunch. We've had that. Now with the extension of Smart Pass, they have more of an opportunity for time and universal supports or targeted supports, and even more intensive supports. So this structured school-wide lunch period provides all students with a shared time in the middle of the day, offering built-in opportunities for academic, behavioral, and social-emotional support. In Tier 1, all students benefit from access to clubs, academic review, interest-based activities, and teacher office hours. This helps build connections, promote student engagement, and reinforce school-wide expectations. For those needing more targeted supports, there is small group instruction, check-in with mentors and counselors, and academic support labs that are also scheduled during One Lunch. This ensures students receive the help they need without missing core instructional time. And those needing more intensive supports, or Tier 3, there is individualized one-on-one time scheduled for intensive academic tutoring during the One Lunch time. And so we use the Smart Pass technology where you can see they have posted the schedule for what's available, and I see those emails. That's changed weekly, what teachers are assigned to what, and the students would sign up for that, and they follow up with them to make sure that they attend as well. Not only does it support intervention and enrichment, but also fosters a positive school climate by encouraging relationship building among students and staff. One Lunch has become a vital component of the high school's multi-tiered approach to meeting the academic and behavioral needs of all learners. I want to wrap up this portion of the VTSS presentation by thanking the division teams, school leadership teams, advanced tiers teams, school administrators, and of course, all of the teachers who support these students on a daily basis. I also want to thank Ms. Lynn Hurd for helping me coordinate this presentation, as her expertise and support is very much appreciated. you have any questions for me?
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Moving along, Mr. Roberts for the operational update.
All right, good evening, members of the school board, Superintendent Mr. Tillett, staff, and community members. I want to start with just a transportation update. Seems like I've been talking about this a lot for the past year, but we're finally at a stage where we're at our warning period with our bus patrol stop arm camera system. So what that means is those cameras are live. If a violation happens, a letter will be sent by bus patrol to the violator just saying, hey, if this was for real, this would be a fine, but right now you get a free pass. Here's your warning, basically. This gives the police department and us and everyone a chance to go through the system with low risk, meaning, learning it, before we actually go live. So that will last for 30 days. Should have started yesterday, but we missed. But moving forward, we do have access to the internal and external camera systems. Division training will start very shortly. We just got all of our credential information through email from Bus Patrol for our admin to sign up for that. So that does mean that we would have the ability to stream live into buses and also retrieve historical footage when needed for safety, which is a huge plus. I've seen the live feeds and the camera, much better quality and much better audio on the buses now. So very pleased with that. All right, the safety update. PHS continues to utilize the open gate weapon detection systems with success. We're now going to move to PMS to start the planning phase to start launching that sometime in the near future. That will be the focal point of our safety committee meeting this month. So looking forward to those discussions. All right, quick human resources update. We did have our intent forms go out last month, had 100% complete those, and I'm pleased to announce we're in a way better position than we have been in the past. I think we only have 8 true vacancies currently, which, one building would have been, 8 or plus in years past, so we are doing a phenomenal job. I think that's a credit to our amazing division and definitely the great work that our school board City Council are doing to help stay competitive with the pay rates. So thank you for that. We are still recruiting, though, for those 8 positions that we have vacant. Career fairs, I've attended 2 so far, one at William & Mary and the other one at CNU last week. We'll continue that trip around the state as fairs pop up. Social media, local advertising, we do pay for the advertising you'll see in local businesses, specifically the restaurants for the TV tickers. So I see those when I go out, like in York County. Those have been working well for us, and of course our website. So. All right, the tennis court, you'll notice in the reading file tonight, we are requesting permission to allow the superintendent to enter in a contract with a selected vendor. This will correct the cracking issues and draining issues that cause the cracking at the tennis courts at the high school. As soon as the contract is signed, this company is slated and ready to start working. So I would say that we'll see that set up begin shortly, probably around spring break. They are currently closed already, so it kind of is an easy transition because of safety. And our tennis teams are practicing and playing their matches at alternative sites in the meantime. This will take, through the summer probably to complete this project because it is kind of a big undertaking, okay? All right, the roof project. Spring break cannot come soon enough for the high school. I know there's several hallways there that are taking on some water in the bigger rains, but this work will start in spring break. So we held our first meeting with Garland, the selected vendor, and weather pending, that's when they'll begin the work. There may be 2 or 3 additional weekends worth of pretty much they're getting the roof watertight before the coatings are applied, but after that prep work, all the remaining work can be done during instructional time. Because it's, no noise, no odors, nothing like that. We will be sensitive to the testing schedule just to make sure that's not interrupted towards the end of the year, but they have all confidence that this will be done before August. So that was good news during the meeting. And here's just not a comprehensive list, but a good list of the major projects that are upcoming through the division, through the summer. You know about the roofing, the tennis is on the agenda tonight, the PMS gym AC, the intercom upgrades that we're going to do in 2 of our buildings, the fire alarm systems. Hot water heater actually is going to be replaced at the high school. It's a big, 100-some gallon tank that we've been needing for a while during spring break as well. The basketball goals, because they've been a little crooked lately. And then all the gym floors, the annual recoating will happen at the end of June, beginning of July during the dead period. So looking forward to all those being completed. All right, questions?
Any questions?
Who's the selected vendor for the tennis?
Tennis courts is Carrick Construction.
Questions? Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
No problem.
Long, Ms. Spence for the finance and budget update.
We'll go ahead and get started. Good evening, Chair Burbidge, Vice Chair DeBose, school board members, Mr. Tillett, and members of our school community. This evening, I will provide a summary review of the superintendent's proposed FY27 budget, highlighting our key priorities and major funding considerations. This budget is presented to the board for approval this evening following the public hearing. The 2026 General Assembly session adjourned on March 14, 2026, without adopting a final state budget for the governor's consideration. It is anticipated that the General Assembly will reconvene and a special session will be held on April 23rd to consider the governor's actions, and that'll then go to the governor for approval. Because a final conference budget has not yet been adopted, the division will continue to monitor legislative developments and any potential funding changes that could impact school division revenues for the FY27 year. This slide summarizes the state assumptions used in developing the FY27 budget, including the governor's proposed 2% salary increase for SOQ recognized positions and a projected ADM increase to 2,065. Based on these factors, the division anticipates a modest net increase of $84,182 in state revenue, which does not fully cover the total personnel and operational costs that must also be supported. This slide details changes in the state funding between the original budgets. Although SOQ funding increases by $418,423, shifts in incentive and categorical funding, including the movement of compensation supplemental funds into SOQ from the prior year, results in that net state funding increase of $84,182, illustrating that overall state revenue growth remains limited despite those internal category adjustments. This summarizes the net changes in state and federal funding and the resulting impact on our local funding request. While state revenue shows only limited growth, the division continues to face modest enrollment increases, rising personnel costs, and higher operational expenses. Because approximately 82% of our budget is personnel related, even small compensation adjustments create a significant financial impact. Since increases in state and federal revenue do not fully offset these ongoing costs, the remaining gap must be addressed through local funding. As a result, the slide reflects a higher local funding request. Overall, the increase is not driven by program expansion, but by the need to sustain competitive compensation, support enrollment growth, maintain our aging facilities, and continue the high level of performance expected by the community despite limited growth in our state and federal revenue. This slide highlights the primary drivers of our personnel-related cost increases totaling $656,000. The largest component is the proposed 2% salary increase of $432,900. to support recruitment and retention, along with a 5% increase in health insurance cost of $144,600. Additional increases include curriculum writing and SOL remediation previously funded by All in Virginia funds, amounting to $48,500, and higher workers' compensation cost of $30,000. These increases largely reflect personnel and benefit obligations rather than new program expansion. This slide outlines the primary increases supporting our instructional programs and student performance. The largest increase of $131,200 reflects costs associated with the New Horizons regional education programs, ensuring our continued access to specialized services as well as CTE and the governor's schools opportunities. An additional $34,000 covers instructional software and professional development, which was previously funded with All in Virginia funds. With those state carryover funds expiring, these essential instructional supports must now be included in the operating budget. Other investments support our band and choral supplies and instruments, expanding dual enrollment and instructional materials, and funding for the strategic plan development. Additional targeted support for programs such as Virtual High School, Aviation Academy, Odyssey of the Mind, and athletic officiating helps maintain our diverse student opportunities. Overall, these instructional student performance represent a net projected cost increase of $291,100. The $188,800 of increase that you see here represents increases for maintenance, transportation, and technology, largely driven by the need to maintain our aging facilities, rising fleet maintenance cost, and essential technology systems. These increases support safe school environments, reliable transportation, and operational instructional technology needs, representing our necessary investments to sustain our existing services. As shown here, the FY27 proposed revenues totaling $33.3 million is a 3.32% increase over fiscal year 26. State funding provides 55% of this revenue, followed by local funding at 42% and federal funding at 3%, highlighting the continued importance of local support alongside state funding to sustain our division's operations and programs. Approximately 70% of the FY27 proposed expenditures of $33.3 million budget supports instruction, with additional spending in transportation, maintenance, technology, and district support services that sustain classroom instruction and overall operations. This slide shows the FY27 funding gap of $1,064,377, driven by slightly lower projected revenue and, as previously shown, the $1.07 million increase in expenditures. This requested increase in city funding will balance the budget and support employee compensation increases and the rising operational cost. And there will be a public hearing today after this presentation. Kind of didn't quite go right on there, so just get to listen to me. This slide reflects the key updates to the FY27 pay plan, which is included in Section 10. The teachers and non-licensed administrators' salary schedules reflect the 2% salary increase. We've also added targeted supplements to strengthen student programs, including the Administrative Intern and Mentor, Excel Club and Leo Club, Summer Strength Coach, as well as a girls wrestling coach, adding to our stipends. Here's the capital improvement planning process and timeline following our initial presentation in February. The proposed 2028-2032 capital improvement program will be presented to the school board during the May board work session and will be submitted for approval at the June board meeting. And as always, many thanks to the City Council, City Manager, School Board for their continued support and partnership. and I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Spence. Okay. Ms. I, do we have anyone here for public comment?
No one for general public comment, but during the budget
Okay.
public hearing.
Okay, all right. All right, moving on to Section 7, the consent agenda. We have approval of financial reports. We have authorization to change appropriation and to accept and expend funds in accordance with attached request. We have approval of personnel action. And lastly, approval of minutes for February's regular meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion about the consent agenda tonight? Okay. Ms. Ide, can we have the vote?
Mr. Maxwell?
Aye.
Mr. Dowd?
Aye.
Mrs. Orsborn?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. DeBose?
Aye.
Dr. Burbidge?
Aye.
Vote passes 6-0.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to Section 8, other matters for consideration. Part A is consideration of approval of clerk of the board and deputy clerk of the board for the remainder of the school year 25-26 school year. So this will be motions, and we'll vote on this individually. Okay. Can I have a motion for consideration of approval of clerk of the board and deputy clerk of the board for the remainder of the 25-26 school year?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Ide, can I have a vote, please?
Mr. Maxwell?
Aye.
Mr. Dowd?
Aye.
Orsborn?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. DeBose?
Aye.
Dr. Burbidge?
Aye.
Vote passes 6-0.
Okay. Item B, consideration of approval of proclamation for Military Child of the Month. Can I have a motion to approve consideration of approval of proclamation for Military Child of the Month?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Okay. Do I go to you, Ms. Ide, or? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ms. Ide, can we have the vote, please?
Yes. Mr. Maxwell?
Aye.
Mr. Dowd?
Aye.
Mrs. Orsborn?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. DeBose?
Aye.
Dr. Burbidge?
Aye.
All right, vote passes 6-0.
Okay. Item C, consideration of approval of proclamation for Week of the Young Child. Can I have a motion to approve the proclamation for Week of the Young Child? Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Ms. Ide, the vote, please.
Mr. Maxwell?
Aye.
Mr. Dowd?
Aye.
Mrs. Orsborn? Aye. Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. DeBose?
Aye.
Dr. Burbidge?
Aye.
Vote passes 6-0.
Okay. Item D is approval of item disposal list for March 2026. Can I have a motion to approve the March 2026 item disposal?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
Any questions or discussion about the, Ms. Ide, the vote, please?
Mr. Maxwell?
Aye.
Mr. Dowd?
Aye.
Mrs. Orsborn?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. DeBose?
Aye.
Dr. Burbidge?
Aye.
Vote passes 6-0.
Okay, last item is approval of motion to authorize superintendent to sign a contract with the selected vendor to complete the Poquoson High School tennis court project. Can I have a motion to approve the approval of the motion to authorize the superintendent to sign a contract with the selected vendor to complete the Poquoson High School tennis court project?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Ms. Ide, the vote, please.
Mr. Maxwell?
Aye.
Mr. Dowd?
Aye.
Mrs. Orsborn?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. DeBose?
Aye.
Dr. Burbidge?
Aye.
Vote passes 6-0.
Okay. All right. Moving on to item 9, I guess this is what everyone's waiting on, is move on to the public hearing on the superintendent's proposed budget for FY '27. We have a public comment on the superintendent's proposed budget. Okay, so we're going to do this. Okay, at this point, I'd like to open the floor for public comment on the superintendent's proposed budget for FY '27.
We have Mr. Stephen Clark from Odd Road.
Okay. All right, let me just read one thing to you, Mr. Clark.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. All right. The Poquoson School Board welcomes public comment during regular meetings. School board members do not respond to public comment during a meeting. All comments should address a matter related to Poquoson Public Schools. School board will not hear public comment that involves an individual student-related matter, the disclosure of which would violate applicable confidentiality requirements. The school board expects that each speaker will be courteous, modeling for our students how one can respectfully disagree with others' views. Speakers will address their comments to the entire school board and not to one individual board member, nor to the superintendent, a staff member, or the audience. Speakers are encouraged not to engage in personal attacks. Speakers will present their comments from the podium. To follow school board policy, time allotted to speakers shall be 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Burbidge, members of the board, Mr. Tillett, good evening. I'm Stephen Clark. I live on Odd Road. First, I want to thank all of y'all for serving on the board. Most of the time, it's likely a thankless job, and the $30 you get each month that you then donate back to the schools is a pittance for the time that you dedicate. Thanks for serving the community. Please consider that my comments tonight are directed towards the position and not the individual. I came tonight to speak on an item that is in the superintendent's proposed budget for fiscal year '27. My disapproval is the disparity on the proposed pay increases. On introductory page 3, it states that all school staff will receive a 2% salary increase. However, page 56 of the budget document shows the superintendent is to receive a 10.26% increase, a number more than 5 times the increased proposal for everyone else. Seeing the 10.26% increase prompted me to look at the superintendent's salary in whole. First glance, it looked like a sizable number, and even more so with the proposed nearly $23,000 increase. I looked at prior budgets for a history and sent FOIA requests out to 7 other localities, including some of our neighbors and another city of similar size. It appears we're being extremely generous with the superintendent's salary. I captured the information gathered and put them on documents that I will share. Chair Burbidge, the copy I have for you has the FOIA attaches responses attached. As of yesterday, kind of important, as of yesterday in terms of pay, our superintendent only trailed Hampton and Newport News. Effective today, Dr. Carroll in York County is also on the list above us. Dr. Carroll officially dropped the interim tag he had been carrying since October and got a raise today. Rightfully so, he passed us, as York County is a system that has 15 more schools, 11,000 more students, and 2,200 more employees. Those responsibilities are good for an additional $12,000 in pay over our current superintendent's salary. You'll notice that our superintendent's salary is higher than New Kent, which is a system that is roughly 75% larger than we are. That's students and employees. Our superintendent's salary also eclipses Gloucester, which is more than double our size in students and employees. From my experience on the city side of the house, if the city is proposing a 2% pay increase, it is inclusive across the entirety of the city from top to bottom. Everyone gets the same raise, including the city manager. The schools are asking the city for an additional $1 million of funding this year above what was provided last year. Obviously, there are more components here, but we're at a point where City Council may potentially have to wrestle with a tax increase to us as citizens to pay for the currently proposed 2% pay increase, along with the other wants and needs. My opinion, the optics of the superintendent getting a raise that eclipses the other employees is a bad look, especially when the current salary eclipses others in neighboring communities who each hold a doctorate degree and are responsible for more employees, more students, and more schools. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Okay. Any other public comment tonight?
There are no additional public comments.
Okay. Let's move on to item B. This is consideration of a resolution approving the proposed FY 2027 operating budget. And I would like to add, oh, okay, these are the, oh, he left. FY 27 operating budget, there is a correction to the reading document. It should be 26-27. There's a typo that says 25-26, so we're going to make that correction. But that being said, can I have a motion? Let's see, this is a consideration. Motion to consider a resolution approving the proposed FY 27 operating budget. So, was that, did I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, this is questions or discussion. The floor is now open.
Just to be candid, this is a lot of information to process on the spot.
Right.
So to just ask the question now before, what are the implications of needing to probably follow up and read a little more on the information that we were, just provided?
Yes.
I think the big thing is just to understand what the 10% is.
Yes.
Yes,
That's-
exactly.
I was hoping that question would come up. If anyone had called and asked, we could have explained this, and several board members have reached out to get an explanation for that. It shows a number because that is the number, but it has to be explained because of the contract of the superintendent. Is a contract that has variables in it. One of the variables is that the superintendent receives a pay increase that is equivalent to the average teacher. That's in the contract, and that's very typical for superintendent contracts. Matter of fact, I haven't seen a superintendent's contract without that clause. If you'll recall, last year, our teachers got a sizable raise. Well, that has to be continued into future budgets. This budget represents the superintendent's percentage that equates the average of the average teacher. So that's part of that formula. The second piece to this is that the superintendent's contract has, as is very typical for superintendent contracts, a clause to allow the superintendent to cash in certain number of annual leave days annually. That has to be budgeted in the event that I choose to exercise that part of the contract. That has to be budgeted annually. And those two pieces together, added together, do calculate to 10%. That is a formula not on a base salary, but on the base salary plus the possibility of annual leave days being compensated up to 20, which is in the contract. The research that was done that's in front of you is misleading in that that's a summation of the superintendent's base salary. My base salary does not include that raise because, again, that's the average of the teacher's increase and accompanied by the option to cash in days. Other superintendent contracts have that as well as what they call deferred compensation. So those two pieces together, I hope explains it. The superintendent's contract has been, since I arrived, a base salary plus the same compensation as the average teacher. And again, this year's contract or budget represents a 2% for the average teacher. But if you'll recall, last year, the average teacher received the 3% plus additional compensation based on the comp study that we did, and the average was somewhere around 11%, I believe. Is that correct? From the average teacher. And again, this was a contract negotiated years ago, and the contract does call for the superintendent to receive the same raise as the average teacher. So if you calculate that together, if you look at, I also would like to share a document with you I think is very important. Again, if anyone had reached out to me, I would have been happy to provide this. The Virginia Association of School Superintendents provides a very comprehensive document that's public information, that has all superintendents' salaries around the state, and it's much more informative because it has the base salary, which is what we're really talking about, plus deferred compensations, as in this contract, which would, in their respective budgets this year, would show those percent increases, which would be more than their average teacher because of deferred compensation has to be budgeted. So we're looking at two very different documents, a budget document, which again is what the 10% reflects, which has to be budgeted, even though that's not necessarily the amount of cost. It depends on whether I choose to take one cast-in day or 20, but that has to be budgeted just in case. All the other budget superintendents, or all the other area budgets would reflect a similar budgetary component for the superintendent's salary, is what I'm saying. Also, the base salary is what's being compared there, and the base salary here would be very similar. I believe, just looking at that document recently from the Virginia Association of School Superintendents, I think my salary is actually less than the region average. And I will want to put on record, this is my 35th year in the business, and have not gotten any raises except what is built in the contract, which again is the same as the average teacher.
So just to clarify, the additional budget that is placed on top of your base salary, are we assuming 20 days?
20 is the max in the contract.
Right, so you've assumed 20. So for purposes of what we're talking about here, if you turn around and take the base salary, divide by 356 days, times 20, gives the additional budget that's been added to the salary.
Correct.
Right? So, and I don't, without doing the calc for the base salary, I mean, it ends up being, what, $600 a day?
It's roughly, it's $248 a year.
Okay, right.
Yeah, the logic is correct.
Yeah, so, but it ends up equating to 10 grand,
Yeah,
plus or minus.
yeah, I really think it averaged more like 16,000 based on his new contract.
Okay.
His new amount.
All right. So of the increase, 16,000 of that increase is purely a budget to a holding place if he elects to turn around and exercise the portion of his contract where he can get paid out for his leave. Correct? The balance of it is the raise.
That is correct. And
Yeah, I think this would be helpful, especially for the public. Our CFO can explain this better.
Yes, so I was doing CFO work here.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, I appreciate that question, though. So maybe we can clear it up. So for the budget document you're looking at, you have the column that says the 25-26 original budget. And if you look in a page that Mr. Clark referenced, that is the original budget, which at that time, which was done in March, we based it on 3%. Then we got to the contract review, which I sent to Sands Anderson with the interpretation. Before I was ever going to give anyone that type of raise, I want to get it cleared through our attorney. I said, here's his contract, here's the average due to a comp plan implementation, because sometimes you can get into definitions in a contract, and I didn't want to get caught in that. And they came back and says, nope, he is due it. So for our original budget you're looking at, included the 3%, we ended up doing 11.8, and then the 20-day payout. Again, that's a budgeted figure for the placeholder.
Spence, so let me just regurgitate. So we took the base that is in his current contract plus the average increase from last year
11.81.
equates a new base for starting this
That
year,
is a correct statement.
right? And on that new base, we add 2%, just like every other teacher's getting 2%, right?
2%.
And then from there, we turn around and we take that base, divided by number of working days, we get, you know,
The extra.
the extra per day, multiply that by 20 and add it on that new base,
roughly.
which turns around and lands to the 246,078.
Should be roughly that, yeah.
And again, if that was the data used to compare superintendent salaries around the region, that would be a budgetary number, and you would find that in budgets all around the region. But instead, it was using a budgetary number and comparing it to base salaries.
And a good example of that is if you turn around and you look at the actual budget, you see the budget from last year was 223, 170, but actual expended was 117, 134.
For the prior year.
217, 124. So, I mean, we were under budget last year.
And that's typically the case if you're looking at budget versus base salary, because most superintendent contracts, if not all, have deferred compensation. That's what this is described in this discussion tonight. And that deferred compensation is taken at the pleasure of the superintendent at certain times based on their contract. And the other thing that's important to note is this is a contractual discussion that's in place through a certain term, not something that can be changed by a budgetary action. It's a contract. Yeah.
You answered my next, I was actually one that had also asked about the percentage increase, just to understand, because again, it does jump out if you're looking at the line item. And the explanation, again, which you have very clearly provided, did make sense to me. I gave pause to the numbers that are quantified here. But again, you did kind of answer my next question, was this does seem to be that we are following an existing contract that is in place. I mean, that, and the attorneys have reviewed
Yes, I
the
sent it to
contract
them.
language that supported the pay that we discussed, the 11.8%, which is the average, again, which is exactly what I recall, was round about 11%.
This is just a contract discussion.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, and that's why I sent it to the attorney.
Understand.
Does this have to be voted on tonight?
Yes, the budget has to be approved because we have to, by statute, give it to the city council by the end of the
Even though
month.
Virginia is not behind it yet? They have.
Yeah, we've had to do this every year, unfortunately, because our work
I just
has
wish
to be
this would've
sent
gotten
to the
to us
city council
a
to
little
do
bit
their
earlier.
work, to approve their budget. So we have a requirement to submit to them an approved school board budget by the end of March.
I did have one question about the budget, and maybe you could just refresh me. So I think on your chart, you said our expenses are increasing about 3.3% year over year for the school.
From the fiscal year 26 to the proposed fiscal year 27, it was 3 point,
And that increase is generating requests for $1,069,000 more to the city. What percentage is that of an increase from what we asked the city last year? Do you know?
I'm sorry, I can't tell you that right offhand, but I will well, I'll provide it via email. But please be aware, we did a compensation increase last year, that was $1 million, right with that. So when you're comparing the two.
Yeah, maybe I'm not asking the question. Like, what's the total dollars that we asked the city for last year versus the total dollars we're asking the city for this year?
Yeah, yeah, I got that. Yep, no problem. All right, so last year, the city, we asked for $12,588,038. This year, we're asking $13,588,038. $652,415, which is an increase of $1,064,377.
Thank you.
I just want to say one other thing. Another thing is that, and we've talked about this before, our LCI went up. So that was if that hadn't happened, this would be a whole different picture, much more favorable to the city.
Can I ask a procedural question? And this is probably more from a budget standpoint and to Mr. Dowd's question about needing to vote on this tonight. Because this is a contractual item, right? We can't make a budget change without changing the contract, right? Because of the way that the contract's laid out. If we were to vote on the budget tonight, get it approved, because what we're talking about here, while we want to make sure, I think everybody understands what we're looking at and all that jazz, it's a small piece of the overall budget, which really the city needs to take and really start moving forward with. If we as a board were to turn around and then want to have discussions about the contract, that change, if it were changed, could be retroactive inside the budget, correct?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, but a contract's a contract. So the contract has an expiration date. And so the time to negotiate a contract is when you're in negotiation for the next contract. That will have budgetary implications on 2 years, but from now. A contract is a contract until it's complete. That is why this is not a budgetary discussion. That's a contract discussion that should happen and does happen generally a year before the expiration of the contract. If you'll recall, those of you who've been on the board for some time, superintendents generally start the negotiation of a next contract of the year prior to its expiration. So if there's going to be an interest for the board or the superintendent to make a move or to change the dynamics of their working relationship through contract, they do that, giving each party plenty of time to make decisions about moving forward, whether it's to hire a new superintendent or to change the compensation package for the superintendent, or various other elements that are in that multi-page contract. That's typical for all executive level employment contracts. And I would just advise, if there's any interest in doing that, the board should have a session, closed session with the attorney that works for you, and have this discussion, which we generally do prior to negotiating the contract, each time the contract is a year from expiration. And in this case, I believe the contract expires in June of 2028.
So the soonest that we could open negotiations on a contract would be June of 2027.
In the first year of a 4-year contract, correct? Right, it comes with cost too, right? Yeah.
So, any questions about this? Mr. Dowd, what are your questions?
I will tell everybody here that I'm going to vote no, just for the simple fact that this was blindsided. I don't know enough to feel comfortable voting yes.
Okay.
So, and not being able to table it to another meeting, which I completely understand, and this is nothing at anybody here that is going to vote, but I don't feel comfortable enough voting for something that I am blindsided by. So, we're good.
I don't disagree. I think it was a lot of information. I understand it. I am a little confused by the contractual side. I do get the numbers side of it, but I hear you. But I don't know. It's hard.
I think that
The information would have been, yeah.
the thing to really think about is, in our region, base salary. And then with the compensation study that happened last year, his average increase, was it 11 point?
For teachers, it was 11.81%.
So it was 11, he got an 11.81% raise because that was the average compensation increase. And then you add in the budget for the in his contract, it says the superintendent can sell back a maximum of 20 annual leave days. So that budget has to allow for the superintendent to sell 20 days at his personal preference. We have to account for that in our yearly budget. And so I think that those two factors, that's where this 10.26% raise is coming from. So then that would also include the 2% on top of that?
11.81 is total.
No, this 10.26 value.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Mhm.
So this also includes the 2% that everyone else is getting. So there's three factors. The 11 point, whatever, 20 days plus the 2%. So in actuality, the superintendent's only getting a 2% rate. It looks different compared to the budget from the 25-26 value. And I think that's where some of the confusion is coming.
So in other words, which we clearly don't have yet because the year has not finished, if we were to have the 25-26 actual at the end of the year,
Right.
and the variance percentage was calculated as that actual to the 26-27 budget, that percent would be 2%.
That is correct.
This is 10%
Yeah.
because that variance
Based on
is the original budget.
That's correct.
Yes. So I hope I didn't muddy the water on that. Any other questions? Discussion?
Just one last question, and that's, if this budget is not passed tonight, what are the ramifications for us and for the city?
I don't know. We've never crossed that bridge. We have I think it's a statutory obligation to provide a budget to our funding.
By April 1st.
By April 1st, I think is how it reads. I always say the end of March. We only meet once a month, so we always approve it in March. But the statutory requirement is to present an approved budget to the funding partner, which is in our case the city of Poquoson, by the 1st of April. So today's the 17th of March. If this was a budgetary consideration about something that the board has the authority to edit in the budget, we should hammer that out tonight, would be my recommendation. But I haven't heard any discussion about anything that's actually budgetary related to this budget. The contract reads how it reads, and it's been interpreted by our attorneys.
That's correct.
And
June 30th.
that kind of is what it is, I guess, is one thing to say.
We are contractually prohibited from discussing this contract until the end of June in 2027. And then that discussion has to happen in closed session. So I would encourage you, and we're talking here, what's the budget? It's less than $20,000. So, that's my piece.
In other words, we truly can't adjust the budget without being in violation
Correct.
of a contract, truly. I mean, that budget line item is contractually calculated.
That's correct.
Voting no on this budget does nothing to his salary.
Right.
Hypothetically, we could entertain a motion at any time to break his contract, but that
Comes
is a
with a
total
cost.
separate issue, right?
That's covered in the contract as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would prefer not to do that. Okay. I'm going to call for a motion. We've already called for a motion. We've already had a second. Do you have all that, Ms. Ide? Any other last call for questions? Okay. Ms. Ide, the vote, please.
Mr. Maxwell.
Aye.
Mr. Dowd.
No.
Ms. Osborne.
Aye.
Mr. DeBose.
Aye.
Dr. Burbidge.
Aye.
Vote passes 5-1.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to section 10, communications and/or other matters by school board and/or superintendent. Ms. Studd.
Poquoson Primary School recently celebrated several exciting literacy-focused events. Our students had the special opportunity to welcome author Miss Pearl, writer of The Great Louise, our one school, one book selection that students have been enjoying together since February. Thank you to Ms. Inslee for organizing this wonderful visit. It was the perfect way to wrap up our shared reading experience. Students and staff also celebrated Read Across America Spirit Week with themed days that promoted a love of reading, dress-up days, classroom activities, and shared reading experiences that encourage students to explore new books and authors. We would also like to thank the many men who came to read to our students, including Mr. Tillett, Mr. Roberts, Officer P, and 18 other grandfathers, dads, uncles, and community members. Their participation provided positive role models and reinforced the message that reading is valuable and enjoyable for everyone. In addition, we extend our sincere thanks to the Poquoson Education Foundation for their generous grant awards. Poquoson Primary School received over $6,000 to help teachers purchase additional classroom resources that will boost student engagement, and we are excited to put these new materials into practice to continue supporting meaningful learning experiences for our students. Poquoson Elementary School is lucky to have many wonderful opportunities recently. Poquoson Elementary School fourth graders took a field trip to Yorktown and had Jamestown come to visit their classrooms. Our third graders had an informative presentation from Langley meteorologists about weather patterns. All of our students had the chance to meet Virginia author Gabriella Aldman, and all of the classrooms hosted a Poquoson community member to read during the annual Real Men Read event. Our school celebrated Read Across America Week with student readers from Poquoson Middle School, a Dr. Seuss themed Spirit Week, and a book character contest with potatoes decorated as book characters. Our fifth graders have been meeting with Poquoson Middle School counselors for their sixth grade class selections and have had the chance to visit Poquoson Middle School to learn more about their upcoming transition into middle school. Our after-school tutoring program students have been lucky in learning from Poquoson High School student volunteers from the National Honor Society and the Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society. We are lucky to have more fun coming up in March with this week's SCA Spirit Week and cereal collection. Will our SCA collect enough cereal boxes for a cereal box domino challenge? Find out in our April report. Great things are happening at Poquoson Middle School. Last Wednesday, Poquoson Middle School hosted the Night of the Arts and CTE show days. It was awesome to see the talents of so many students displayed on the stage and in our hallways. A huge thank you is extended to the teachers for their hard work and dedication to make this night possible. Congratulations is extended to the Poquoson Middle School Odyssey of the Mind team for their first place finish in the regional competition on February 21st and for their first place finish in the state competition this past weekend. They are now advancing onto the Odyssey of the Mind World Finals at Iowa State University beginning on May 27th. On March 3rd, 21 Poquoson Middle School students visited the elementary school to celebrate the love of reading by sharing stories with 12 elementary classes. The Poquoson Middle School Library is currently engaging students and staff with its annual March Book Madness. The 16 most circulated books of the year are placed in a Sweet 16 style bracket and compete through student voting to determine the most popular book at the middle school. Poquoson Middle School would also like to extend congratulations to our 31 students that were inducted into the National Junior Honor Society, our 3 students that were selected for All Virginia 4, and to our March Golden Bull Students of the Month, Graceland Kite in 6th grade, Gabriel Cobb in 7th grade, and Amelia Ramirez in 8th grade. Moving on to the high school, so buckle up. It's been an exciting month, an impressive month at the high school. Thank you for everyone's hard work with the successful completion of our writing as well. We recognize that students, staff, and families have put a lot of effort to make these days a success, and we appreciate everyone's hard work ensuring our students had the best testing environment possible. We had a 97% attendance rate, and we appreciate everyone's hard work. Congratulations to our Odyssey of the Mind team placing first in the region and our state champions. They will be traveling to the World Championship to defend their world title in May. Congratulations to Bo Baggett, Lacey Bolt, Jack Dextra, Carlton Gill, Charlie Libby, Gray Libby, and Victoria Winchester. February 26th, the class of 2026 hosted Seniors Got Talent, a new event where members of the class of 2026 showcased their talents for a night of entertainment to raise money for the senior class. Thank you to the community for your support, as the event raised over $1,000 for the students. A special thank you to Mr. Tillett for attending as one of our guest judges. Members of the Poquoson High School Model United Nations participated in the 28th Annual Governor's School Model United Nations. Our members continued to craft their diplomatic skills by engaging in real-world scenarios and problem-solving through public speaking, collaboration, productive debate, and compromise. Congratulations to our choral students who performed in the recent District Chorus Festival. Poquoson High School had 5 students qualify as all-state choir delegates and 1 student qualify as an alternate. We are so proud of them and their hard work. Good luck to chorus in preparations for the spring state assessment. Join for a preview concert on March 19th. Evolution Show Choir competed in the Titan Tournament, of course, on Saturday, March 7th. The group's amazing performance, along with their positive attitudes and encouragement, earned them 2nd place in their division and the Heart of a Titan, which is a Spirit of Kindness award. Evolution also competed in the Coast State Classic at Manchester High School on Saturday, March 14th. Competing in the largest tier of the day against 8 other schools, the students swept their division, taking home Best Vocals, Best Choreography, Best Show Band, and 1st place, as well as Best Show Design of the entire day. Congratulations to our Poquoson band student, Jonathan Rutter, who placed 6th chair concert band at the All-State auditions. He will be performing at the All-State event April 16th through the 18th in Richmond, Virginia. This past weekend, the Poquoson High Concert Band earned all 1s and a superior rating. This earns them the title of Virginia Honor Band, which is the 11th time in our school history. Congratulations to the entire band and our director, Mr. Andrew Smith. Thank you for everyone for participating in our Spring Spirit Week. And congratulations to our freshmen for winning the Spring Spirit Stick. They brought the spirit and showed the upperclassmen they have truly understood high school life and spirit. Thank you to the SCA for hosting. Poquoson High School DECA returned from the State Leadership Conference and competition this month. Our chapter earned Star, Superstar, and Platinum chapter ratings, along with the prestigious Platinum Cup Award for their annual report submission. Individual recognitions included to Alex Titko, Ashley Groseth, and chapter advisor Kimberly Chapman. Poquoson High School DECA achieved an astounding 300% growth in membership and a 95% increase in active participation this year. The energy, professionalism, and commitment these students displayed at States prove that this momentum is only just the beginning. Congratulations to our Scholastic Bowl for bringing home championships at the region level and winning the state championship title for the first time in 25 years. Congratulations to the Poquoson High School wrestling team for winning states again this year in their back-to-back wins. A special congratulations to our 6 individual state champions as well. Swim finished with a successful season as well. The Poquoson boys swim team placed second overall at the state championship and had an outstanding performance, with several state championship titles recognized earlier tonight. We are so proud of you. In track and field, we also have individual state champions we get to celebrate, and we look forward to seeing them continue this season. The boys basketball team finished out their season and showed significant improvement this season, advancing to the second round of regional playoffs. And to top it off, spring sports is officially in full swing, and we look forward to more successes to come. As a friendly reminder, don't forget, third quarter is ending next week, and we look forward to finishing the year strong. As always, check the Island Times on Parent Square for more important updates from the Poquoson.
Thank you, Ms. Studd. That was a lot. Mr. Maxwell?
I always start with a, excuse me, a preemptive echo of whatever my colleagues will say that I will inevitably forget. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Also, given global events, I thought it appropriate to start by thanking, excuse me, our military men and women serving in uniform and their families. Heart goes out to them and what they're going through now. Congratulations to the senior of the month, Miss Morgan Clayton. I wrote down here 4.38 GPA. Know how that computes, but that's why I never got a. All of our state champs, state chorus, both in the high school and middle school, congratulations to them. State band trombone. See that. Wrestling state champs, what an amazing season, setting personal school program records and individual titles, awesome program there. Swim team as well, state champs, setting state records. Track team, again, was Miss Trent with her 14, was that correct? 14 individual titles, just kind of blows my mind. Academic challenge, awesome. I kind of dated myself. I was thinking, it hadn't been that long since we won the state scholastic bowl. I remember that. Well, that was when I was in school. Odyssey of the Mind, good luck and congratulations for your state victories, and let's win worlds again. Thank you to Ms. Odd and the VTSS team for the work they've done and that $30,000 grant they brought in. Personal thank you to Ms. Inslee for the One School, One Book. That was a big hit with my primary schoolers. Also, congratulations to all those National Honor Society inductees. Congratulations to those Golden Bulls.
Thank you. Mr. Dowd?
Well, Mr. Maxwell always covers everything, so I appreciate that. Ms. Ide, I really do want to thank you and all the teachers and the principals, the Golden Bull, the Bull Bucks, all that stuff doesn't just engage students that are already wonderful. We do have a lot of those out here, but it also goes to the students that are not easily engaged, and it makes them like school. And that is where I think you guys are really showing some improvement. My daughter hated school. Now she is not fighting us nearly as hard, and it's because of the stuff that you guys do to make it fun, to make them engage. And those are the students that you guys aren't leaving behind. And I don't want you guys to think that that goes on, unnoticed, because it really is. So, but my buddy Maxwell, he got it all, so I'm good.
Thank you, Mr. Dowd.
Thank you. Ms. Orsborn?
Well, I'll start with SEAC has a meeting next week. So Special Education Advisory Committee next week on Thursday, 6 o'clock at PES, if anyone wants to attend. I do want to say, last week was a really big fine arts week. I know we had CTE night, but then also the chorus and band practiced their assessment, which was amazing. And then as a music mom, I ran to the jazz gala, which was at the same time. If you didn't get to see that, that was a great fundraiser for our high school band kids, band and chorus. Show choir, again, as a music mom, with them sweeping, was amazing. And there's so much that goes into that, not just the kids who are on stage. You also have your kids in the band, and you have your stage crew who is working, making things, running all the lights, and all of that great stuff. So just so proud of how awesome they did. PHS band, again, doing their amazing thing with Straight Superiors. And then our middle school kids are going next week for theirs, so I can't wait to see how that goes. Congratulations to all of the amazing athletes we saw earlier, and our musicians, and all the great things they're doing. And I think that's it for me tonight. That's it.
Thank
That was
you.
a lot.
Ms. Jones?
I agree. I really think it has been covered. Ms. Clayton, our Senior of the Month, very impressive, honor choir delegates, all-state band, wrestling champions, swim, track, academic challenge. I think we've covered it all. So lastly, Ms. Spence and team, thank you for the budget document. There she is, that over there. Thank you so very much for your thorough explanation of questions. That's not always seen, here publicly, but you're just so quick to respond and so thorough and efficient, which I'm never as efficient with words, but you make it very understandable, and I thank you for that and your help in working through that as well. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. DeBose?
I think everything's been said. The one thing I will say, it's only 13 days till spring break, so we're going to enjoy it.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot to say. I do want to, thank Ms. Graham for coming on board as our new school board clerk. You'll soon get my email address, and I'll be coming by to sign lots of things. So it's a pleasure to meet you. The school board looks forward to working with you. Lastly, I don't know what else. I wanted to thank Ms. Spence again for answering questions about the budget. And that's all I have.
I want to, of course, echo what's been said already, but also take this moment to thank Ms. Spence as well, not only for the budget, but for all she's taught me in the last several years we've worked together. She is a brilliant chief finance officer. She not only understands finance deeply, but she also learned very quickly the education side of the house, which was quite impressive, and has kept us doing the right thing financially in her tenure here. And we're going to miss her. Tonight is her last official board meeting as she moves off into the nonprofit world. So we're going to miss Ms. Spence greatly. She has agreed to stay on with us a period of time in a contractual relationship to help transition our new CFO. So thank you, Ms. Spence, for everything.
Okay. Ms. Ott, are there any other materials for board review?
No additional materials for board review.
Okay, and with that, I will adjourn the meeting.